A big turning point for me from a learning perspective was deciding who to learn from.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of results that happen in the world are because of randomness, but they're assigned because of someone's expertise.
Mm-hmm.
So you picture there's 100 people flipping a coin, or what are the odds of flipping a coin 100 times? Heads. If it's really low, but if you have, I don't remember what the odds are, but if you have 10,000 people flip the coin, you'd expect one or a few of them to actually have heads 100 times.
Mm-hmm.
And that number could be way off, but you get the idea.
Mm-hmm.
And so in the world of starting a business and people going for it, you're going to have a large percent of people who are successful primarily because of luck. And for me, in starting that first business, I think that was a large part of it. You have things like persistence and like pushing forward. Those are the table stakes, but the luck was a big factor. And so when I had that lens that, okay, a lot of it is luck, how do I find the people who are successful because of skill, not because of luck? Then I really start to narrow down who I looked for. I looked for people who are, against the odds, successful multiple times in multiple industries, or where they're starting from scratch. And by narrowing it down, I started to study people like Warren Buffett or Charlie Munger. Investors are really interesting because their track record is public. So you could see their records going back for decades, and they constantly have to be making these investment decisions. And so I found this group of people, and one of the patterns that I saw was just a long-term thinking. And when you think long-term, you're fundamentally willing to make bets that other people aren't. And one of the things is that many of the best bets to make, they don't even pay off for 5 years, 10 years. Amazon, I think, has a 7-year window of when they expect an idea to pay off, when most other companies, it's just a much smaller window. So they're not even going to go for certain of the best ideas. And it's harder to hear this message if you're earlier in your career, because counterintuitively, you should have more patience because you have a lot more time, but you want things a lot sooner. And so that was definitely my case, that I didn't fully have this in some ways. But in terms of becoming a top performer, world-class at something, is you just have to realize that part of the process is not being good for a while, and be okay with that and get started. And just most people are not willing to even get started. And those who do just give up way too soon.